Well, I pushed live, but I never know when the damn thing starts. You know that, babe.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Yep. Yep.
know.
I'm just waiting to see verification, folks. I assume I'm on. Yeah, it looks like I am. Good, good. I'm Michael Noland. This is the bottom line, but when I stream, it's called the Tribal Forum. This is Tribal Forum number, if you can believe this, 113. Interesting. 113. What a number to do the show I've got planned for you tonight, folks. We're going to be talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and how it is reinventing rock and roll right in front of our eyes with yet another nominees list, all vying to be inductees, I might add. 17 has just come out for hoping to get a nod from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and to secure their financial future. Now, I called it back in January, folks, early
Oh my
January.
goodness.
Yeah, we've got a
Oh my
hold on.
goodness.
I'm in no hurry tonight, so and I'll be reiterating some things because Divining Dragon had a great comment. But could you read? This comes from Gear Jam himself.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
said,
exercising his right. Gear Jam, are you an elder? Or I forget which one you are. But
Gear-
he's either an elder or a chieftain, so he gets first speak here.
yeah, Gear Jam just sent a gift membership to the channel.
Oh my goodness!
Woohoo!
Great.
Oh, thank you
That's
so
like
much, Gear
that's
Jam.
a $7 super thanks. That's just as
Yeah.
good. Thank you, Gear Jam.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And like I said, I'll answer any super thanks that come along during the evening, and we'll get to some of what you guys are saying here in the chat as well. We don't just focus on super thanks, but I always take time out to read those comments. Okay, they get a priority. Okay, but I'll give you an example. I've already been discussing a couple of things with you, and I'm sorry that my comments were being deleted. It wasn't from my end, folks. Okay, and
Something
it
was
is
going on,
yeah,
huh?
it's the first
Yeah.
time in the history of this channel that has ever happened. And so that's why I switched over to the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. All of those comments have been me, in case that confused anybody. You know, I called this whole thing, like I said, back in January, and that's why I put a link up to a video that I've made, the channel trailer, for at least the next week, okay? And it initially did real well. It had over 10,000 views. And it's a quick video on an article I did, a video that I did on based on an article, I should say, by Axiom. Okay, and in this article that Axiom put out, they were supposing it was a supposition of who just might make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominee list this year. And they did a lot of supposing, saying, well, it's going to be based on a lot of the 80s. The 80s are hot now. And so we're going to get a lot of those people. And they even said that they did not foresee Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey getting yet a third nod. And guess what? Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. And the main thrust of that video was me calling it on the bullshit that no matter what happened, this was going to be yet another reinvention of what rock and roll is. And I have told you, maybe I even brought it up in that video, I don't recall, that every single year, right around this time, comes some sort of comment from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame CEO, John Sykes.
Oh boy, hon.
And he has reinvented exactly what rock and roll is as far as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is concerned. And he's opened it up to rap, hip hop, pop artists that have nothing to do with rock and roll. And the nominating committee is made up of 12,000 votes. Not the nominating committee, but the voting portion is 12,000 votes. There are 12,000 votes going. And when you vote for these people, as fans for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all of your votes, that means, let's say, 2 million of you vote. That means you 2 million people get one vote besides the 1,200 votes that are already there and to be cast. So you as fans, me as a fan, have absolutely not even a squish of this. This is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just thumbing their nose at us as far as I'm concerned, because the fan vote doesn't count at all. Now, I've explained that many times, and so we're going to be discussing this this whole premise tonight. This list, I'm going to be going over it. I got a couple of articles I want to kind of talk about as well. But before we get started, I want to ask a basic question. I want to get back to nuts and bolts here, folks. And this goes back to Christian's comment that I was talking about. He was talking about metrics. And I said, well, we're going to be talking about metrics tonight, Christian. But not in a mechanical sort of way. And yet, yes, we are. And it all starts off with a real basic question. What is rock and roll? Bit my tongue. I might even be able to still talk. What is rock and roll? Okay? What is that to you? Now, I know Royce, I just saw him check in just before I got up, is out in the audience. And I can speak for Royce, I think, that both of us agree that rock and roll must have a blues base to it or tie to it. Because, as Royce brought up recently, you know, they called it the blues and it had a baby and it was called rock and roll or something like that. I'm sure I just wrecked the hell out of your quote there. The blues had a baby and it was called rock and roll, I think is what he said. All right. And I concur 100% with him. There has to be a blues bass bent to it. Now, there's a lot of bands that are on the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame that aren't considered blues-based bands. There's a lot of them that are. But I'll give you an example. The prog rock band, Yes. All right? Now, they are so proggy that they have almost at times more ties to 17th and 18th, 19th century composers than they do to rock and roll, and yet at the same time they manage to kick ass. Listen to the album Close to the Edge, listen to the first side, and you might think you have your argument won. Then go to the second track, second side, Siberian Canto, and get ready to have your freaking mind blown. So I consider them very rock and roll, and there is a blues-based approach to them. Steve Howe has a blues-based approach. Rick Wakeman could get bluesy when he needed to, right? Yes. And Bill Bruford had the swing of not Robert, but John Bonham, Bonzo. All right? I don't think he was quite that great of a drummer, but he had swing. Bill Bruford. All right? So I chose purposefully for this intro to give you an example of a band that many of you, and a lot more of you, are probably thinking to yourselves, you think that's a ridiculous. How about so-and-so? And we know you like them, Michael. So we may have some agreements or disagreements about what rock and roll is, but I've got a good idea of what a lot of you think because we just inducted, and we're going to go over those inductees, all right, into the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. Now, for all of you viewers who are new here, and you may have even signed up on that video that I was mentioning before. We got a lot of viewers there. All right. So when you're looking at what we're covering tonight, keep in mind that we also have been doing our diligence over here, and well over 35,000 votes of current count. 35,000 votes, the biggest poll I've ever conducted. We inducted a total of 52, I believe. It was a 26-part poll, and 2 winners came out of each part. So 52 bands and artists, along with 25 guitarists, just for their ability to play guitar, as well as the 13 original, as voted by you, Mount Rock Olympus bands of all time. And that's why we call it the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. And the thing is, my longtime viewers will tell you, I resisted this. But we got a couple of troublemakers in the comments. You know, I love them all, but they just wouldn't let it go. Christian is one I can think of. Royce wouldn't let it go. And I knew it was going to be a lot of work on my part, folks. Oh God, I'm still recovering from that damn poll. I haven't been myself since that poll. That's for sure. I have my good days, then I got my gravity days, and it's that poll, right? But we did it because so many of you were telling me, let's make our own Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They can't do the job. So I know a lot of you agree with me, to a degree at least, that there are problems right here in River City. I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we can't keep our eyes closed about this anymore. And when my channel has done so much to actually reinvent the thing and the concept, okay, I of course follow the shenanigans that I already see happening this year. In fact, the shenanigans I predicted. And it's not because I'm so smart, folks, but I do know a little psychology. And, you know, it's like, tell you what, it's like the scorpion that gets the tortoise to carry him across the river and promises not to sting him. You know, and the tortoise, he gets him across. Of course, the scorpion stings him. The tortoise is there lying, dying, and saying, but you promised. Why would you take him? I did you say? And he goes, scorpion. All right, a thing has its own nature. Notice I didn't say a person, although it applies to that. But when you create an organization, it takes on the personality of the building blocks that built it, and then its own politics and its own drives are supersede even the few free thinkers that are left to vote. It has, I've seen it at state hospitals, institutions, corporations all over the world that just refuse to die and to feed its own corrupt, sometimes, agenda.
You go, hun.
Said she from the back row.
Yeah. I
But no, folks, this is important to me. So so the question still remains, what is rock and roll? So I think, as I've said, it's got to have a blues base to it. All right, and so what is that? How far do we take that? Well, the Deep South blues fits in real good. Chicago blues fits in real good. Appalachian music. And the middle ground in between, that have flavors of both, and the fact that the Appalachian music had a lot of its beginnings over in Europe, right? And the bands that truly saved rock and roll and brought it from death's door were mainly from Britain for a while. And so, yeah, Appalachian, I can hear that, right? And then you've got people who will take, blends of different genres, okay? You've got the Eagles who took on, it was a mantle given to them, whether they meant to or not, take on the mantle of country rock. And many other artists, James Brown, is that who I'm thinking of? Anyway, who were there too, Poco and all those, they were all in that subgenre, right? But that don't mean I think Hank Williams belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So you can have subgenres that are, like I said, yes, Deep Purple, one of in my top 5, number 4, Ritchie Blackmore, my 4th favorite guitarist of all time, admits they'd rip off Bach, Beethoven, and there's another thing. If you're going to go back, because people go, then what is rap? Well, rap has its way back in the Chicago. I do not buy that, Novus Nick. Looked it up. I do not buy that at all, and for very good reasons. If we have time, I'll go into that. Okay, so, and if you've got a band and then there's the question mark area that I still haven't fully figured out for myself. Actual bands, but they're kind of hip hop and rap. Where do you put them? Because if you're going to allow country into country rock, then it's a dilemma for me still, folks. So I haven't gotten everything figured out. Okay? But I think we're at a point where we can all agree what ain't rock and roll, it would seem to me. And all it takes is just apply a couple of nuts and bolts, kind of common sense metrics, Christian, to the whole quandrum and see what we can come up with. And so blues-based is there. We've got the Brit bands coming over, so they're very rock and roll. America invented rock and roll, just like it invented the blues, right? So that's very American, so you've got that. But you've got bands from other countries that are just as much rock and roll, right? No one or two cultures owns it, but what is it that nobody owns? And yet the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame claims to be the representation of rock and roll. So they're in fact, claiming to own it. Okay? So what is it? It's got to have some of those elements. And by that, you're talking, well, what are blues? Blues, first of all, I'll give you another quandary right here. Les Paul, the inventor of, well, some would say the electric guitar in general, certainly the Les Paul, his first model he called the Log, right? And he was a jazz player who played in big bands, and he needed to be heard over the horns and, right? So being a genius, he put this contraption together. He also invented multi-track recording. So I could see Les Paul being inducted into the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame, but not as a musician, but as a special mention, one of those awards you would give, so for their input into rock and roll, because he's jazz, and I'm a fan of his records. I love him. I love Les Paul. Kimberly can tell you, he's a hero of mine. Okay?
Yeah.
And so is Willie Nelson, but I don't want him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's country, man. As rock and roll as his attitude is, see, and this is another thing. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame seems to think that it's all about attitude, right? If I say I'm something, I'm that. Damn it. Are you now? Really? not impressed. Because I don't take every assertion as fact. So keep that in mind as we go through. Here's another thing. Might as well go through this, and then I'll take a minute to give some shout outs. Kimberly, remind me of those who gave us super thanks. I always do that.
Okay.
I usually
sure
handle
will.
that at the end, but we had every problem under the sun getting this stream up tonight, folks. This has been the most difficult stream for me to actually be up on screen for, and I've got a zillion notes, but I didn't get a chance to order them. Put them in order because of all the problems I was dealing with before. And then I was ready to go. I was set to go at 5, and something reset the stream to 5:30. That's not what I set it for. Totally beyond my,
Oh my goodness.
my control, folks. Oh, do we have
Oh my goodness.
we got a super thanks here, and oh my goodness, Storm Cop.
Woo-hoo.
Storm Cop just bought 5 new memberships.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
yes.
going to be putting together a new members video.
And Michael Boswell
What a
came
quinky
in with
dinky.
the super thing.
He sure did. I saw that $2.
Woo-hoo, Storm Cop. Oh boy. Thank
I'm so
you
glad
so
Michael's
much.
in. I'm so
And
glad.
Michael, I know.
Because, Michael and I will go tooth and nail. And
Yep.
I'm so glad to see you in, Michael. Would you read his comment? And then I want to give a shout out to Storm
I sure
Cop
will.
here.
He says, why isn't Sticks in this list? Damn it. You tell him, Michael.
He's on a list in an article if I get to tonight. They are. Sticks is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sticks, did they make it? Because I'll be going over who did. They may
Oh,
not
my
have made it, but they
goodness.
were nominated on
Royce
ours
just
first
came
time
in
around.
with a super
Thank you,
too.
brother.
Oh, Royce, thank
Okay,
you.
now before you read Royce's, I did want to give a special mention to what Storm Cop just did. All right, that's like a $35
know.
super thanks. Thank you, Storm Cop. That helps support the channel. Now, those new memberships he bought are gifts to you. It's a gift to the channel, but they are gifts to you. And as all members can tell you, I've got a ton of videos over there, and I've been busy as hell, sometimes even being criticized that I'm not putting out enough of my regular videos. I'm spending all my time over there. That's not true. As a matter of fact, this week I've been more busy on my regular videos, and I've seen, I want to get another members out. So if you get that, you become a tribal elder for 1 month if you don't re-up, and you have access. I've got demos of my songs over there. You got to dig. I mean, I think we're coming up on 150. I actually counted them up one night, and it was 140 something, right? And videos that you can't see here. But you got 1,600 videos over here. And I've never, ever, ever cheated my original audience. I still put out 1 to 3. This week I got 4 in. All right, I got 4 videos in at one point in a week.
Yeah.
Okay, but I always get 1 to 3. That's my flow. That's the way it's always been. But when I opened up channel members, I made a deal with you that I would spend that extra time doing that for your financial support. So yes, I am involved over there, and it's not just a bunch of. Matter of fact, my latest one is clips from us doing our sound check. We did one tonight that could wind up over there. And it just goes from one sound check to another. And it's just us letting you know what goes on behind the scenes before a stream. Because I do a sound check. I had to do 3 separate sound checks tonight. Just because of the shenanigans, So, and I also will do record reviews over there that I won't do here. You guys let me know what you want over there in the comments, and I will probably respond to your suggestions. All right, you got power over there as to what I would do, because I can talk about anything over there, where over here I'm looking for videos that do at least, 1,000 views, and my latest one I think it actually hit 1,000. I don't know if it's showing it on the channel. It didn't do as well as I had hoped. basically dealing with what Sharon
my
Osbourne
goodness
had to
sakes,
say.
hon.
Okay, so before you get
Oh,
to
my goodness.
Deuce here,
Beast.
we still haven't read Royce's.
Royce's, yeah, absolutely.
$10 from Royce, is that it? Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, brother.
Oh, that
What does he have to
says,
say?
long live rock and roll. Amen.
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 Amen. I agree with that. Good one,
Thank
brother.
you, Royce, so
And
much.
looks like a $5 super thanks from
Beast.
Deuce.
Yes,
Deuce?
Beast. Deuce. Deuce
Deuce.
is wild,
Yeah.
also known as Beast LVX.
Yeah.
Those vampires at the Hall of Shame won't listen to us peasants. The filthy Bodegots will never understand the essence of us and our timeless music.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better, dude.
Yeah, me neither. That
That's
perfectly
absolutely
said.
right.
And Michael's in with another $2 super thanks. And could you read
Woo-hoo.
that?
Okay, Michael Boswell. He says, cheap trick. The cars are in Styx is a crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael, you tell him, like I said.
And many more that
Give 'em hell.
people in the know thought actually might have a bare chance. And see, it's not like there aren't some good nominations on the list that we'll cover tonight, Michael. But even the good ones, for the most part, could wait behind bands that deserve the nod before them. I think Billy Idol, I like him. He'll be one that's on there. Is it his second time in a row he's been put on as a nominee. Love the guy.
Yeah.
Love his whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
His blonde Elvis 80s thing
Yeah.
was so cool. I liked Adam and the Ants too. Go figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a big fan. But not before Styx, Michael.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, Styx is a monster band. I don't care whether, you know, a lot of, they soiled their legacy with all the infighting. Bands do this. And one member kind of taking over too much and being allowed to, lifelong resentments they can't get over, I think soiled their legacy. But if you just listen to the damn music, they put out some of the best hits and albums in rock. And I even like Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto, baby. That's, yeah, I dig it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I like it.
Absolutely.
I'm a sucker for that kind of
Me too.
You know?
My sons love that.
Domo,
Yeah.
Domo. I love it. I love it. Good groove to it. Great hit. But a lot of criticism from their fans came from that hit. It didn't hit me that way.
Oh.
You know?
Roy says that, Michael, for me to get to the chat bar, the top of your heads disappear. Thought you might want to know.
Now, what's that now?
Well, he says, for me to get to the chat bar, the top of your head disappears.
Is anybody else experiencing that?
Huh, that's weird.
Let me know in the chat. Look at the
Thank
bottom
you,
of the
Royce.
chat here, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks, Royce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay. I don't see anybody else saying that, but
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
sure what that was about.
I don't know. Maybe he
Yeah.
means if he scrolls to the top to see what people have said before.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not, let's see, video is fine. Must
Just
be
the
on
Fax
mobile.
Man says it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. On a PC. Yeah, I get a lot of people watching me on their PCs, their TVs,
Yeah.
you know. I know Christian watches on his TV when he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dennis, read Deuce's comment here, babe. Because
Okay.
it hits on what we were talking about with Michael's comment. So
Deuce's comment.
Yeah.
He says, "Those vampires at the hall." No.
No,
we
no.
read
Down
that.
at the bottom, starting with Dennis DeYoung. Okay, she's having trouble. Let me see if I can read this. Dennis DeYoung is great in what he set forth, but the band is still great. Post Dennis, I agree. They put on rocking shows. I'm having trouble. See, this is a problem with my screen. I don't want a lot of light shining in my face. And the latest album isn't bad. I agree. As a matter of fact, I had lost connection with the band after Dennis DeYoung. And then when I started this channel, I started listening to their albums because they were in the news. I was doing some videos and they would be in the news. And I got to tell you, my first couple of videos on them, I had a more negative feel toward the band. And then I started looking at what they were offering, because a lot of my negativity came from the fact that, look, you need Dennis DeYoung to really be the band you are. He was such an important part of that. So is Tommy, so is everybody else, okay? But you need Dennis DeYoung for me. That was kind of my attitude. Then I started listening to their latest albums, and I became a fan all over again. They don't need Dennis DeYoung. Now, do they need Dennis DeYoung to make grand funk money? Some of you will know that's an inside joke. Yeah, they do. If they really want to make the huge number, all they'd have to do is get back together, him, and do a farewell so long tour for about 3 to 5 years, and they'd all be soaking in dough, folks. No doubt about it. But they were nominated, and I don't know they got back, but they'll be on the nomination next when we vote in the fall. Another thing to keep in mind, folks, is, and I'm going to freeze that right now so I can get over and do these shout outs since we're doing it, and then I can get into the gear of things here. But let me make sure. Okay. I want you to, we're going to still keep talking about the nuts and bolts here, because I want to lead up to this. And like I said, I'm in no hurry. We're going to do this stream as long as it takes to get done, so have some patience with me. But I had to cancel my last stream because I was toast, and thank you so much. I took screenshots of so many of your wonderful, because I had to take that off once the stream was over. But I've got all your wonderful comments, and you guys wishing me health, and Kimberly health.
I know.
You know, because she
They're
was
wonderful.
down.
This tribe
We were
rocks.
down, boy. We were down.
Yeah.
And I've sputtered ever since, right? I'm having a good day today. Wouldn't have given you a shit for yesterday. Day before that, I was fine. You know, and it's been like that. But, so keep in mind, we're going to get back to the nuts and bolts, and then we're going to launch into what these nominees are. And then we're going to do some comparison. All right. But we're going to do, or I'm going to do my utmost to define rock and roll a little bit more than just being blues based. That's next. All right. So I did want to give these shout outs. On our last stream, Joseph Blue came in at the last minute. He does that often. And he swung a deuce hammer at us, baby. $2,
know.
right? Ben Scheidecker gave us a $10 super thanks. Thank you, Ben. The Four Horsemen, like tonight, he gave us a $10 super thanks. Thank you, Royce. Boy, it would happen. No disservice to you, folks. Trust me. Deuce is Wild in with a $20 super thanks. Just the Facts Man, damn the man McNew. Saw some of your comments on Caitlin's stream today, Dan. I was just too busy to get into the conversation. But he gave us a $10 super thanks. And then Storm Cop, who just gave us $35 super thanks tonight, gave us a $50 super thanks.
He's
And
so
I
wonderful.
think the dude was in the middle of his anniversary honeymoon trip, if you can believe that.
I know. On
What a
a
wonderful
cruise.
gift. Yeah, it was
I
great.
know. That's so cool with his wife and their 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
so awesome. Storm Cop.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've got the best tribe on the planet. There is no doubt about that, baby.
And he was complaining about having to unpack
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
That's silly. That's silly. That's silly goose.
Yeah, that's a man for you, baby.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I don't blame him though.
Yeah, I'm good at packing.
Yeah.
Unpacking.
I know.
You know, I guess there's just enough chauvinist pig in me that goes, that's going to have to be some woman work.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
That's enough of that.
I just don't have it. You know, it's like, it just gets me. I don't understand it, you know?
I know.
Yeah, I'm an old-fashioned dirty dog. I know, folks. But, you know, I have a few redeeming qualities.
No, that's okay, hon. It's all right. I'll even make you a sandwich. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
who made you coffee today?
that's right. Twice.
I know how to give.
I know. Made my coffee.
I'm a healed husband, baby.
I know. I know.
I know who the boss is.
I got you trained now.
I get to talk like the boss, and she gets to make the decisions. Is usually how it handles.
Well,
So
what
don't
can I
you
say?
see? She has this mellifluous voice. You hear her in the background, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't trust it. Don't trust it. I'm telling you.
Okay. Okay.
The woman's
Okay.
a tigress. And chiefess of the tribe.
I know.
Oh boy. All right, so we're getting down to the idea of what the nuts and bolts are. Electric guitar, amps, amplified, even the pop rock. We'll talk about pop rock versus pop tonight. All right, all amplified. Okay, you've got this amplified, requiring a drum set. And as time went by, requiring a mic'd drum set. You know, so, I mean, we're talking about amplitude, we're talking about power, we're talking about the rawness of the blues as seen through really a bunch of, who really gave us a sense. There were some American bands that were hovering and kind of happening and stuff like that. But when the Beatles came over, nobody had quite seen it like that before, even though when we listened to their first 4 hits, maybe 5, compared to Strawberry Fields Forever or I Am the Walrus or Hey Jude, they sound so damn pop that I've seen articles refer to them as entertainment's first boy band. What a major disservice. Okay? First of all, they were a fully equipped band and playing those damn songs live, all right? And it was amplified. And at the time, it was a sound nobody had quite heard. There were things that their harmonies weren't unlike the Beach Boys, but they also had plenty, oh good Lord, they had 4 lead singers, you know. They had 3 major, eventually, songwriters, top-notch musicians. I'm sick and tired of hearing and watching videos on how uncouth of musicians they were. Paul McCartney's input into how and what a bass guitar should even freaking sound like, and his actual playing puts him up with his influence and how he decided to record that bass are all first times in rock and roll. He'd have to be in the top 5 bass players of rock and roll if you're going to include, okay, if you're going to include his input. Same thing with Ringo Starr. He'd have to be in the top 10 drummers. You can't have him.
Oh my goodness.
His influence was too strong.
Mr. Michael Boswell came in again with a
Yeah.
super thanks.
Oh, great.
Oh, Michael, thank you so
Oh, a
much.
$5 super thanks. Can you read that for me, baby?
I sure can.
Sure.
Michael says, there are no nominees on the 2026 with the rock bones of Styx. True rock, in his opinion. Absolutely.
I concur with most of those. Iron Maiden's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but then you're thinking about like intricacies of music and things like that, Michael, you've got an argument there, right? But
Yep, he does.
there are a couple of good nominations. I'm not going to poo-poo this list entirely, just only
No.
half of it. Okay, that's where we're going.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, the nuts and bolts. So, you got electrified, you got the guitars. Guitar players were the first superstars, even over the vocalists. They were like magicians. As a matter of fact, many of us Led Zeppelin fans called Jimmy Page the Magician. It's a nickname of his.
Oh, he's great.
All right. I said in my latest video where I remember a time when rock stars, to me, each and every freaking one of them, looked like gunslingers, folks. And what they did was amazing. Okay? And Styx is one of those bands. Love Tommy Shaw's guitar playing. So we got some nuts and bolts here, right? There's the black influence, a lot of white influence in there. Then comes in the Hispanics with Latino rock, right? And so it becomes less black and white oriented. It starts taking on flavors. And the hounds of hell surround this enticing, still alive carcass to get in and nibble on it. And I'm talking about subgenres of music that aren't rock and roll and who are being honored as such. Nothing pisses me off faster, folks.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'll give you an example. Nuts and bolts. You build an airplane. Got to have wings, right? 2 of them. I'm talking your traditional airplane. It's got to have a stabilizer, tail. Right? It's got to, the air, it has to be kind of battened up or the air would blow you all to hell. Let's call it a single engine prop. Got to have a propeller.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the identifying marks of an airplane. Royce could tell you, he's a pilot. Okay? He goes, well, that's a very basic, let's keep it basic, Royce. That's a basic explanation. It's got an engine in it, okay? I'll give you that, brother. But now, what if we took a wrench to that propeller and we'll just undo it and put a periscope on it? Periscopes for a submarine. Ain't going to work on a plane. Doesn't belong there. It's pretty simple. You don't put a periscope in place of a propeller on an airplane. Simple nuts and bolts for you folks, right there. Pretty easy to figure out what is and isn't rock and roll. And there's a couple of gray areas where debates will still rage. And like I said at the beginning of this stream, I'm not sitting comfortably with. I'm still making up my mind, okay? But let's get beyond those minute buts to my entire argument here, and let's get right down to the question. Does hip-hop artists, do hip-hop artists, do rap artists, do rap? Why? Someone's going to tell me, oh yeah, that's actually a subgenre of rap. Is do rap? I don't know. Maybe it is. Don't follow the art form. I concur. It is an art form. And I think it should have a rap hall of fame. And I say a big salute to each and every one of you wonderful people who have been nominated into the Rap Hall of Fame. You are giants of your industry. So it's not like I hate these people. All right? I just don't need a periscope on my airplane that I'm trying to fly to Mount Rock Olympus. See what I did there? Okay? I want a stable flight. I want it to be solid. No DNA ambiguity whatsoever. Solid. Chip off the old block. Looks like the last model we built, identical. Just like Dad. Okay? DNA. Think of it in that. The blues, the Brit influence, Appalachians, country kind of gets in there a little bit, right? There's some old time country that almost had a rock and roll attitude and everything. So it blended well. So it expanded its core. And that's where every other subgenre, remember I just got through saying, it's still alive, barely, but it's on critical condition. And every subgenre, okay, do we let the rap rock bands in? I don't know. And they're nudging up. They're going to break the cell membrane any moment now, okay? But we have the ones that are even out there. Me too, me too, me too. Rap, 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 rap. Hip hop, hippity hop, right into the pot. That's what they want us to believe is rock and roll. Okay, so that brings me to John Sykes. I told you, I called it. I told you I called it. Expect something from him that goes right along with his last two statements 2 years in a row that have redefined what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sees as truly rock and roll. And when we last visited this dastardly villain of villains, chip off the old block. See what I did there? All right. From Jan Winter, one of rock and roll's greatest villains, a misogynist and a racist. And he was put in there, handpicked by Jan Winter. And he has said that if Missy Elliott's great uncle listened to a station that played soul music, and because it was doing so well, they would put 1 or 2 rock songs in a rotation of 10 on a soul station, that somehow gives her roots as a rock artist, not what she actually produces, that would identify her thumbprint on it, rock thumbprint, DNA, propeller for the freaking plane. So anyway, CBS did an article, and let's see if I've got that quote up here. CBS. CBS did an article. There was a time when CBS, if they did an article or anything on, Uncle Walter, damn great network. They're the shits these days. Let me see if I've got this. What was I going to do? Did I have that at the very end? Let's see.
Where are you, hon?
Well, I don't know. You know me. I do this. Like I said, I got notes all over the place. Well, I've got the article and I can read that. It won't take me but a second here to get on over there. Okay, where are we? But Mama. Okay, let's see here. Is this the one? This would have been the one I think I want. No. Let's try that one. No. Yeah. CBS. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to read a quote from the illustrious John Sykes, CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Keep in mind what I've told you, that he has already done for 2 years in a row to redefine what Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is. I don't have time to go on the druthers, but I've done many videos on this where I get into exactly what he has said. I have quoted the man. All right, so I'm not just shooting off at the hip here. I've made my case before, folks, on this man. He is a dastardly villain. And CBS, this is from CBS News Online, and the title of this article is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame unveils, quote, diverse list, unquote, of 2026 nominees. Now, I want to get down here. I'm not going to explain that because I think the list will explain for itself. But right here, where was it? Yes. So they quoted John Sykes. Here's the quote. This diverse list of talented nominees recognizes the ever-evolving faces and sounds of rock and roll. Does that not go with exactly what he said before, but with a new twist, a diverse twist to it? Okay, now we must be diverse. All right? Did he say anything else? That's the nuts and bolts. I don't need to go beyond that to make my point. Okay? So what I did was I looked up the word diverse. You know me, folks. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. And where did it go? Why am I not getting my diversity page up? Well, let's see. Yes, there it is. Okay. Yeah, nuts and bolts. Let's talk about the word diverse. Okay. We know there's a weaponization of language from some these days. Okay. And or if not a weaponization, there's certainly an ownership in the English language these days. The N-word is owned by a quadrant of the population to freely use whenever they want, and other quadrants of the population aren't allowed to say it in good company. I never liked the word to begin with. I always thought it was the sign of a low-bred man or woman who used it. I was always offended by that word, and I still am, despite who uses it. You offend me because you think you own it. No, you don't understand, bro. Here's how it... No, I understand. You're the one that doesn't understand that it's not up to you to commandeer a word out of the English language and to own it for yourselves. And then, in my humble opinion, promote greater separation, not racial harmony, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's a good idea. All right, but that's my humble opinion. And I know a lot of you think that's fine. And you're welcome to make your comments. Okay, why diverse is good. But let's get back to the word. Okay? The root is Proto-Indo-European from the root were, or to turn, or to bend. Latin evolution, vertere, I thought that was verite, divertere, maybe I'm right. But anyway, it means to turn aside, or to turn aside in different directions. The related English terms are the same root that produces, listen to this, folks, divert, diversion, divergence, and a real good one, divorce. Ooh. Ignore that last word, baby.
What's that?
Divorce.
Okay.
Don't let that word ever utter out of your lips, baby doll.
No,
All right,
I don't
so
intend to. Don't worry.
all right, so here's another one. Meaning and develop. Originally referring to being turned different ways, by the 14th century it evolved to describe variety, distinctness, or several, sundry. All right, 14th century they're saying. And I understand those how they entered, the romantic aspects of those and how they entered into the 14th century in English. That makes perfect sense to me. But now we've got the people referring to the latter of all the roots, the fourth root, and commandeering it to explain their side of the story. See, if the nominees that we're going to be talking about tonight, folks, all right, now think about that. If they are, ask yourself, if they are diverse, or if they're just pure, unadulterated rock and roll. You have no trouble identifying that. I would imagine a whole lot of you would go, Iron Maiden's pretty rock. Yeah, I'd say that. That sounds rock and roll to me. Even if you don't like them, you go, well, yeah, they're a rock band, though. Famous rock band. Sold billions of albums, I'm sure. Made billions and billions of dollars on tour. Still out there, you know. So, all right. That's a pretty easy identifier. Did you notice? Did you notice what I was talking about? The nuts and bolts of the band? All right. Heavy metal, guitar driven, blues bass on steroids and a half that not even Jimmy Page was on sometimes. Okay. But definitely rock and roll. And yet at the same time, we get for the third, I just want to use the F word so bad tonight, the third freaking time, Mariah Carey.
Michael.
I know, you love her.
I love Mariah Carey, sorry. And Celine Dion.
I know you love her. Gag me with a spoon.
I know it's pop.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
baby. All right, now you brought up a good point. Because, listen, I understand. I'm talking to a lot of people out there that go, I think Mariah Carey rocks. I think Caitlin loves her. Royce might even like a couple of her hits. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right? I've never liked the woman, ever, ever, ever. Don't like her hits. And she spoiled Christmas for me for a couple of decades now. But
Okay.
but did you notice?
Mr. Melodrama.
Well, let's get on to another nominee before I even get on to this list that's up there. How about Sade?
Oh, love Sade.
You think she deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as, say, Mariah Carey?
Well, yes, basically, but I know there should be a pop rock Hall of Fame.
Right.
I know they're not rock. Or,
Okay.
But
Right.
where do they go? Where do they go? If Dolly Parton can get into their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does suck.
Okay.
It does.
So you make a couple of good points, but you also, I've heard this from you and many of my viewers in the comments. Where do they go? Where do the poor orphans go?
Yeah, good question.
All right?
Absolutely.
I'm talking nuts and bolts here. This is an airplane.
Well, most of us agree.
That's not even a question I entertain. I'm built for flight. I'm built for rock. I don't have an answer for you. Where do the poor orphans go, Kimberly? I just don't.
I know, but we all know that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, I mean, it's almost like corrupt. I mean, seriously.
You think?
I think it's,
Yeah?
I think it's a matter of if you're part of the clique or you obey and go, you go along with the program.
Well, that's an awfully bodacious thing to say,
Well, I think
that it's
it's true.
corrupt. Would you like me to help you out and give you some facts that it is corrupt?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See what I did there?
That's right. I mean, you need to back it up.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you're the one that made the statement.
did.
I didn't. Yet.
I do think it's corrupt.
I was getting around to it. But here's why they're corrupt. Just one reason alone. All right. Their CEO, well, I'll give you a couple. I'm feeling very giving tonight. Their CEO was handpicked by Jan Winter, who in his last book that interviewed famous rockers that he wanted to interview, and some hypersensitive reporter asked him a question. Why weren't there any women in the book, and why weren't there any black artists in the book? And his reply, and I'm only paraphrasing him at this point, was that black artists and women artists aren't as articulate. That was his excuse.
Really?
Okay? It cost him the throne, by the way. They kicked his ass out for that.
Oh, okay.
But not before he personally put John Sykes in charge to take his place. Corruption.
Yeah. It is. It is. As long as you go along with their plan or you're part of the club, you know.
Now, let's talk about, well, if I'm right. Let's say, okay, hip hop, or rap for sure. I like hip hop, Michael, but rap for sure. The few of you that'll agree with me.
Yeah.
All right. How did they get in to begin with? Why was this even an idea? Think about this. Why was this even, where did the kernel of the idea come from nominating somebody like, inducting somebody like LL Cool J, or Missy Elliott, or Dolly Parton?
Well, the thing is
where did it come
their
from?
Their idea of rock and roll encompasses, all of it.
But where does that idea come? Where does the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's idea come from, baby?
You tell me.
Comes from the nominating committee, who was personally, most of them to this day, put in by Jan Winter. Now, the nominating committee and the voters are heavily, 1,200 of them. 1,200 votes, and all of your millions of votes only counts for one. So you have no power, you have no say-so over this. Remember that. Like I said, I'll be reiterating things tonight.
Yeah.
Okay? This damn shambles of an organization has been the consternation of my channel for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
We had to finally do it ourselves, and I'll give you an example of what we're doing right. We're going to get into that in a moment here. But they put in editors, reporters from hip-hop magazines, online organizations. Wasn't long before words like LL Cool J were being whispered throughout the hall.
Yeah.
But it took a little bit, because when I think it was LL Cool J that John Sykes had to go and explain it. This is the first time he did it. He also did it with explaining Missy Elliott, not to her, but in an interview he explained why she had connections, and I already covered that. Yeah. But he told, I hope it's LL Cool J I'm talking about.
Well, Joseph Blue said Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five became the first hip-hop act inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
In 2007.
Ugh.
Yeah. Thank you, Joseph Blue.
And for newcomers to the forum, when I talk about classic rock, and my channel covers the 50s rock as well, and the latest bands. All right, there's still rock and roll out there. But the classic era, what I consider classic rock, see, the Beatles are one of those bands that are in both periods, earlier rock and classic rock. They invented classic rock with the album Rubber Soul. Okay, so, and from that point on, they were classic rock. Led Zeppelin's classic rock, all the way, so that's 1965, and I reluctantly extend it to 2005. There was still a couple of good things happening around that time. That's when I saw it, and I went, the dream is over. I don't believe in Beatles. I only believe in me. Just Kimberly and me. And that's reality.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it, is they now had a foothold. And he went to LL, if I'm correct,
Okay.
and he said, and LL, quite rightfully, so kudos to him at the time, until he drank the freaking Kool-Aid.
That's exactly what you have to do.
Yeah. Beware
Yep.
John Sykes with a Kool-Aid stand. That's all I can say.
Yep.
All right? And he went through the explanation. Well, didn't you have an aunt? And did you have a nephew? And I'm not telling it the way it was. I'm just giving you an example. Well, did the nephew listen to rock and roll and the aunt raise the nephew? Well, then that gives you a lineage, you see, to the rock and roll fantasy. Because he said, no way, I'm not rock and roll. Besides, rap is king. And kudos to rappers who think rap is king. You should believe in your art form. Just like I believe in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Charades, fakes, imposters.
Yeah, they should have a rap and hip hop Hall of Fame. You know.
Well, I think somebody has written in before, don't they?
They might have, yeah.
You know, and as far as pop just goes, that's called the Grammys.
But you
That's
know,
a-
it's like the true fans of rock and roll, don't agree. Most fans, in my opinion, don't agree with their choices. You know,
Well-
who gets in and when they get in.
Right.
I mean, some have to die first before they get in.
Oh, I know. I
And
know.
that's crazy.
I know. Ask Mick Ralphs from Bad Company.
Yeah, yeah.
And was it? Yeah, I think he knew. But he died before it happened.
Yeah.
Or at least he heard the rumblings of it. And then Boz from Bad Company died, what, a decade before or longer?
Yeah.
The induction or whispers of inductions
Yeah.
started.
Well, B. Stelvx says he agrees with me that they should have their own Hall of Fame, the rock, rap and hip hop.
I'm not against it.
Yeah, they should.
And then some other guy,
But Dolly Parton shouldn't be in there. It's
No.
country. They have a country.
and
Hall of
I
Fame.
like Dolly
I
Parton.
love Dolly Parton. I love Johnny Cash.
But I'm dead set against her nomination.
Well, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I mean, you could technically say some of it is rocking, but is it truly rock? What we consider
Well,
rock?
and like I said at the beginning of the stream, we have our gray areas.
Yeah.
And that's room for further debate.
Yeah.
And if people give me good enough arguments and send me to the right track, you guys have changed my mind in the past. All right? I'm set in my ways, but I'm not. This old dog can learn a new trick. All right? I haven't quit learning. I just got to the point where no more gurus.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
need another man's wisdom to run my life. I don't need another man's vision to tell me what is and isn't, because I've got my own. And I earned it the hard way. I made many mistakes. My longtime viewers know this. I'm not going to bring up my past, but I made many freaking mistakes along the way.
Yeah. I know.
And I paid for those mistakes, but
Yeah.
each one of those mistakes, by paying for it, allowed me to learn and always meant a bump up in my life. And a couple of those mistakes almost cost me my life.
Alex Trigo says Alan Freed, he would die again if he saw the state of things and what they reward in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
That's right,
Yeah.
Alex.
yeah.
Yep.
Alan Freed, famous DJ from, way back in the day. What he said, he was kind of like, what his word was as powerful as, was it Lester Bangs from Rolling Stone was for a while? Nobody could buy him,
Yeah.
and his reviews and everything. You could trust him, James Cameron, you could trust as a writer. James Cameron, the movie director, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote for Rolling Stone. Matter of fact, him and I have got to be real close in age, because I was about 15, as I recall, reading James Cameron articles, and according to the movie anyway, I haven't looked up how old he was actually, but I think he was 15. So he was no older than me, and he was this guy that wow, he's so wise, right? But there's people who have it all right at the beginning of their lives. They've got it all together. Cameron was like that, right? Bangs came up through the ranks and had to become the old. I'm more like Bangs. I'm more like I had to learn it the hard way. But I learn, and I never forget, and I do research, and I question myself all the time before I open up my mouth.
Yeah.
And that way I don't have to apologize too often for opening it. Okay? For you new viewers who are with me right now, I'm also a musician. So it's not like I don't have a technical understanding of this. I'm well versed in the blues. All right? My entire approach to guitar playing is so anchored in that minor pentatonic with the added flat, aka the blues scale. All right? I'm really, meat and potatoes.
Stephen McGinnis says, sure, let's storm the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum yelling, "Stop the induction! Stop the induction!"
Torches. I envision torches and an entire tribe with torches.
You people have made a mockery of this, what is supposed to be a honor,
And this figure on this desert island,
Yep.
right? This monster is climbing up, not a scientist tower, but he isn't gonna. Yes, I am. But up a giant monolithic Les Paul. And there's the tribe ready to burn that sucker down.
Yeah.
The imposter.
It's like Beast LVX says, it's the inside politics of it that is what makes a mockery of it. It's just...
Well, and which gets me to what that video is about. And again, if you haven't seen it after the stream, go on. I think it's 5 minutes or less. It might be 4.5 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Our Michael Boswell just came in with another super thanks.
Oh boy,
hun.
You're hot tonight, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
How much and what does he have to say?
Michael gave us a deuce hammer.
All right. Swing that baby.
He said about Journey, was Neil Sean playing backing riffs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Michael, good question. And that was going to be the original subject for tonight's stream. You eagle-eyed out there will know I changed my thumbnail, okay? And the title of the stream because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame news.
Wow.
Oh,
Flounder Gear Jam member for 8 months, Tribal Chieftain.
Yeah.
He says, this is why I love the channel and the tribe. I came because of the music, but I stayed because of the tribe.
He often says that.
Oh, you melt my heart.
Yeah.
Gear Jam.
Yeah, Gear Jam. And
you're so wonderful.
So that I'm glad to hear you are. I'm going to try and remember that. Who's, like a tribal chieftain. That means he's second tier member, right?
Yep.
And, he's, I can name, there's a core of you. And if I name 30 people, there'd be another 50 of you that wouldn't get mentioned. I don't like to hear, hurt anybody's feelings. But you guys know who you are. I've shouted you out as you guys come. And I got to tell you, Gear Jam has been there with me for the longest time. I love his comments. And he freely exchanges in the comments besides just being a member. I see him all over the place. He watches all my videos. I know I have some of you out there that watch only my streams. You don't watch my videos. Some of you will
And
watch a
that's
few of
okay.
my streams,
Yeah.
but mainly my videos. And then I've got a whole bunch of people out there, right, that just watch my videos. I've got a whole segment of another audience that watch nothing but my shorts.
Michael Boswell says,
Not those shorts.
My point was that Neil plays several riffs on a single song, and possibly he was playing a backing riff instead of the primary riff.
Who was he talking about now?
Neil Sean.
Neil Sean, yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks for bringing that back up. Yeah, Wings of Pegasus did a video on this, and he's real good at he's the one that kind of busted Don Henley for lip syncing. All right.
Yeah.
So he just did a recent video, and now Neil Sean is playing a tapping style, and as I remember, it's been a few days since I've seen it. He's doing a lot. First of all, he's got his root finger where most of his lead playing, it doesn't go below there unless he slides it down into a new, what we guitarists call box areas, right?
Yeah.
So he's up in this little box. And I'm not a tapper, all right, but I know how it's done. And so he's hitting either directly those notes or a lot of hammering. And as I recall, Michael, a lot of hammering with the second and third finger, right? And this one, occasionally, for a higher note, creating a chromatic increase, just kind of coming up a scale of sorts. And then he goes way high and he taps. And that's where you get the, that type of thing, okay? That or a whammy bar can get that kind of sound. But this is more distinct. It sounds different than a whammy bar climbing up to the note. It's the top note popping in while the bottom notes are still playing as an alternative, all right? So the tap was counted. And I don't recall if he tapped 5 times and there were 6 notes, or if but it is 5 or 6, or if he tapped 6 times and there were only 5 notes. It's one of those two. Okay, and that's what he did. And he was busted. He's playing and he wasn't playing a harmony to anything. This was an outright solo. And he's playing to backing tracks. There's no other explanation to that. Now, I don't want to make this a backing track, but Michael, I love the way he kind of brings things up, and I do. We were going to be talking about this as the next stream, and if I can consolidate that stream to a more manageable thing, we'll do it in the future. It was based on the most hated band in rock and roll, and a poll that I did, and bands in general, because there was a whole list of them, I think 16 bands that have a real bad reputation. A lot of people hate them. And so we went through that. So that's a future stream, Michael. Yeah, baby.
Oh, I love what Zombier Chio wrote. Zombie. Mm-hmm. Of all the streams I could miss, I couldn't miss a stream complaining about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's awesome.
You know me so well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, this, I never thought of...
Ben Scheidegger, Tribal Chieftain for 10 months.
Yep.
Oh, Ben, awesome.
Did he send us a message as a chieftain?
He sure did.
All right, we always read chieftain and elder messages along.
He said, hey, Michael, been dealing with the major depression demons again. Ben, we know how you feel.
Yeah.
I appreciate this platform you set up live. I tend to isolate myself in desolation, and this is a nice outlet for me to escape, to not escape, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
Ben.
You know what, Ben, and you're such a vociferous part of this stream and the channel. I got to tell you, this is you socializing. It's good for you.
It is.
When you're dealing with depression, I have too. Okay, I've dealt with deep depression. Had to go on medications for a while, and I worked myself off of it and went through some things that I had attained through other foibles in my life, and beat that depression for the most part. All right, I've still got to be careful with it and everything, but I've been there. I've been there. And I've had family members that have been way more severely than that. And I know all of you out there that are going through depression of
Keep
any
up the
kind.
good fight, Ben.
Yeah, yep.
That's
And
all
you're
we can
actually
do.
doing something to combat that, Ben. I'm an old psych nurse. I know what I'm talking about. All right? You get involved. You get back. I'm also, I've told people, I'm one of few men that actually had agoraphobia. All right? I couldn't leave my apartment, lost 2 or 3 jobs. It just hit me. I was 21. What the hell is agoraphobia? Fear of the marketplace. What is fear of the marketplace? Well, basically, you can't leave your apartment. No, and it affects people differently, but I had to combat that. It took me 3 years to practically train myself to get out and not be under the thumb of agoraphobia. To this day, I can find myself in a crowded social situation feeling a little bit hemmed in. I don't like it, but I can handle it, right? So just to let you know, I understand what some of you are going through. I've been around long enough. I'm older than dirt, baby. I'm old enough to have picked up a little of this and that all along.
Speak for yourself, hon. Speak for yourself.
Well, you're just a young lass. But anyway, in that video, based on Axiom, their article, they were projecting who we could see. One of the people they said that we would not see, let me make sure I got this one, both lists here, was Mariah Carey, wrong, Oasis, wrong, and Joy Division, wrong. So they didn't have a clue. Here's what they thought would make it. Alicia Keys. Now keep in mind, they were making, because they had heard rumblings there was going to be honoring of the 80s. And who knows, maybe the 80s were hot that week as far as gaining views and, TV shows about it and movies are doing real well. And one of their bean counters told them maybe we ought to do that. And then that calmed down real quick as social, expulsions of interest often do, right? And they changed their mind.
Somebody brought up that Devo should be in the rock and roll. I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Devo.
I agree.
Whip it.
Right. Right. They cover the bases to me. All right. Now, I consider them more, what is that? To me, back in the day, I would have called them alternative rock, but that didn't even get used back in the day. And what they call alternative, well, maybe I don't know. What do you guys say? Here's a question to you. Where do you put Devo? What subgenre is Devo? To me, they're just Devo, and I dig it. But
wow, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What subgenre?
Never really pigeonholed them too much.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd almost Thomas Dolby-like.
That's weird. Philip Diaz says that Devo has been in for quite some time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they weren't.
No, they.
Good.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I just saw an article on them. They got in. But here's who they were suggesting. Alicia Keys. All right. Beck, who had been floated last year.
Yeah.
He was floated in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame, and he lost his nomination. He wasn't real popular at all with the tribe.
Yeah.
Few of you, but I mean, I think he got like 2%,
well,
something like that.
Joseph Blue says Devo has been nominated 3 times, 2019, 2021, and 2022, but has not yet been
Oh, really?
inducted.
Okay, I thought I saw that where they had been already nominated.
Oh.
They're certainly worth it either way. All right, so Beck, Alicia Keys, Billy Idol, okay? So they called it on that one. Boys to Men, Culture Club. Oh, I like Culture Club. Yeah, they pop rock. Yeah, I could dig the Culture Club.
I agree with the Monkees.
De La Soul. All right. there's another little pigeonhole guess right there. In Excess.
In
Okay,
Excess.
so there you go. Phil Collins, another one they
You
got.
know I love Phil Collins.
Iron Maiden, another one. All right. Mata Hoople, no. No doubt, no. Celine Dion, no.
Oh,
Right.
Celine, if
Strokes
Dolly can get in.
and Tool. Those are
Tool,
who they
yeah.
thought. And there was a bubble about Tool last year. I think they're worthy. They're damn worthy and a hell of a lot more rock and roll than what we're getting.
Oh,
Okay.
John Roos calls Devo new wave. That's a good subgenre. New
Yeah,
wave.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now let me see if I can get over to this where they're talking about this. I want the UCR article on it because it's a lot easier to read. Okay, so here's who they nominated, or they're putting up as nominations, and then they will vote on those nominations, and usually only, 5 to 7 is the general number of them will make it on there. Okay, and here it is. What is the Rock's criteria? Performers are eligible for the Rock and Roll nomination 25 years after releasing their first commercial recording. On this year's ballot, Shakira is the only artist whose first recording, Magia, came out during 1991. Okay? All right, so they've got to have 20, 25, this is 26, this is her first year, right? So she's in. But who's missing? A ton, of course. On the ever-growing list of rock and roll snubs who folks feel should not be returning the 2025 ballot in particular are jam-based icon Fish, the late country rock pioneer Graham Parsons, Mexican rockers Mana, Chic has been nominated 11 times without being inducted. Okay, group leader Nile, that's another one. I'm comfortable with that, right? Nile Rodgers received an award for musician excellence in 2017. All right, and then they go to an article, 135 not into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We don't have time to get into that. But here are the nominations. Iron Maiden, okay? Iron Maiden is in. Lauryn Hill. So, what is Lauryn Hill? Glad you asked, folks. Because I just so happen
I would think pop.
to look up the definitive Lauryn Hill optics. Is that her?
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go. I went to Wikipedia,
Yeah.
the most trustworthy online source of information a human being could possibly ask for. It must be right if it's in Wikipedia. So Wikipedia always gives, when they're born, other names, occupations. Like for here, she's a singer, rapper, songwriter, record producer, actress. Okay? But I always like to look down at what Wikipedia calls their style of music, their genre. Here's her genre: hip-hop, hip-hop soul, soul, neo-soul, reggae, and R&B. Okay? Now I've listened to her stuff. Some of her stuff is okay. But I don't see the moniker rock and roll on here at all. Rhythm and blues, okay. But that's what is her biggest input as an artist? Why is she such a big deal? Listen to that music, and I don't hear a hint of rock and roll. She's talented. She should be on somebody's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or a Hall of Fame, not a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But not even Wikipedia recognizes her. And you would think out of all of the online, it'll change, because I did find one that I don't agree on Wikipedia that identifies one of these artists as rock and roll, and I don't agree with them. So it's already happening. Get ready as these hip hop and rap artists, these pop artists, get these inductions. Somebody will get into Wikipedia and say rock and roll just because they are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame alone. And then history will be rewritten when that happens. Or reality anyway. Feel like I'm in the damn Matrix, baby.
We may very well be, hun.
Tell you. All right, Melissa Etheridge, I'm all right with this, but I could think
I
of a
love
dozen
Melissa Etheridge.
other more worthy people. But I don't have too much of a trouble with her.
Oh, yeah,
And I think Melissa, let me see what they had for her. Just make sure here. Where'd she go? Pink. Okay.
What about
I thought I
ABBA?
had her. Well, you know, I
ABBA.
may not have just even put up a Wikipedia bit of info because I kind of see her like that anyway. I had no argument with it. I think other artists are more worthy and should be in before her, but
Didn't
I'm not.
she only put out one album?
Who?
But she was very popular.
Melissa?
No, Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill?
Yeah.
I don't know how many albums. I don't
think
follow her.
that-
I've heard a couple of cuts from her,
Yeah.
you know, over the years. She's talented and does nothing for me.
But Melissa Etheridge.
That's not why I don't think she should be in the Rock and Roll Hall
I
of Fame.
think she should be in.
Who?
Melissa Etheridge.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I'm not
she's
I'm not against that.
awesome.
And she clicks the political boxes, and I'm not against that. I guess. I think we should be beyond that
But
by
you know,
now.
a lot of these artists
Yeah.
snub the rock and roll because they know it's a game. You have
Right.
to play their game, and
Well, they're far and few between,
they
baby.
refuse. You know, it's like it would be an indignant.
You know who used to be one of my heroes was Paul. He still is, but
Who?
Just Paul Rogers.
Paul, you know, I
he
love
turned
Paul
it down at least
Bad
on
company.
2 separate occasions. Armet Ertegun came to him and told him he was a shoe-in, and he said, "Why? I don't want to do that. Rock should live, not be in a damn museum." And yet, even he came around.
You know, I think it's almost a requirement that you don't want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to get in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or and then you say something that they take offense at, and there's no way you're going to get in no matter what. Who was it? What band was it? Foreigner. I think Foreigner's the band
Oh, they
that
should
Jan,
Oh,
Wiener
Jan.
Boy,
Yeah.
Jan the Wiener Boy, winner. You know, he said before wasn't it Foreigner? One of you guys know. Said it'll be a cold day in hell before they ever get in. He had put the kibosh on them. They
Yeah.
weren't getting in no matter what.
Yeah.
That was it. Not while he was in control, right?
Well.
Major bad guy. And then we get groups of artists here, bands, that are getting a second and third choice chance here. And one of them I've got a lot to say about, but Joy Division New Order, seems like somebody there wants them to get that vote. 2 years in a row. That doesn't happen every year, guys. In Excess, ditto. All right?
Yeah.
So they're on the list. And then the most evil, corrupt choice of all time for the third freaking time. I told you guys, they're going to ram Mariah Carey down our throats until we finally succumb. That's just all there is to it. Third year in a row for this woman.
Oh my goodness, Mr. Michael Boswell has something to say again.
Yeah.
He hit the deuce hammer.
Thank you. $2 super
Thank
thanks.
you,
Thank you, Michael.
Michael. He says Kiss was the band, that band he said that about.
Oh, was it? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. Well, I don't know why I had Foreigner, but I knew somebody was in his scopes, you know. And since he was using a periscope that a rock and roll airplane don't need to fly, I guess that's how he did it. But, that was the man. He's a little man, not important really. Remember, this guy is one of the sycophants that hung around with John Lennon and would say the most nasty things about Paul McCartney to encourage that. Him and Phil Spector and Alan Klein.
Oh, my goodness.
Right? So he's a scumbag. The DNA of scumbag is written. All you have to do is take a blood sample. Oh, don't do that. But they're going to cram her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And every time she talks, I really want to be in the Rock and Roll. Why? You're not rock and roll, bitch.
Okay.
I don't care. All right.
Okay.
Let's get on to this
You're
because
getting spicy, huh?
No, I want to do this one. Where is she? All right, and then I got to go back up.
Oh,
Sade.
Big City Rollers. Sade, yeah.
All right. Now, I don't like my Mariah Carey ever. Don't like her voice. Don't like her look. Don't like her
Caitlin and
sound.
I like her.
I know Caitlin does. I think even Royce likes some of her better stuff. I don't like her. Okay, I'm free to say that. But I can tell you, I can give you another example. Because if you guys think I'm just being mean, and obscene, here's somebody I love. And I've collected her albums the second I heard Smooth Operator. Sade. I love Sade. And I don't want her on this list. She's not rock and roll. Matter of fact, let's see what the Wikipedia says about her. This might be the one exception. Nope. Her style is smooth jazz, sophisti pop, Quiet Storm. A lot of these guys are in Quiet Storm. I'm not hip to Quiet Storm. Maybe, what is Quiet Storm, guys? I fell into this several times. Not into it, so maybe I'm not. And soul. I don't even see R&B there. And R&B isn't an automatic badge to get you in. Especially if that's your background, but you made your living doing something else. R&B don't count in those days. Or in that way, to me. So, she's up there. All right, just because I don't like Mariah Carey, and I love Sade, I think they're both inappropriate for the Rock and Roll Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
most people are agreeing with that. Bodie Alsip said Lenny Kravitz. Where's Lenny Kravitz in all this?
Damn well.
Yeah.
And he would click some political boxes for him. Well, he is a man. Maybe that wouldn't help him. But so many things are clicked and chicked and clicked. Diverse. Remember, I told you, diverse. Remember what he said. This was a diverse list. To divert, to go another way.
Yeah, it's not the usual path. So
right.
They are diverting.
Right.
Yep, and
see, trotting the long and narrow straight path forward is so hard for people sometimes.
Fucking Robin Bird says, "Ha ha, when's Cardi B getting inducted?"
Oh God.
Yeah,
Robin.
she's rap and hip hop and all that.
Oh God.
Stuff.
New Edition?
Yeah. New Edition. Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's wow. Isn't that like with the Backstreet Boys or something?
They're horrid. They're horrid, Caitlin. Oh. Horrid. But then I saw the Backstreet Boys. Caitlin goes, Michael?
I guess they get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because there is no other category. How about putting them into the Country Music Hall of Fame?
Right.
I mean, go ahead and put, what's his name? LL Cool J or Snoop Dogg into the country music.
Well, here's an analogy for you, right? Where do the poor orphans go? Let's change that scenario, because that was brought up earlier. But where else do they go? Oh. Okay, let's turn this into, I don't know, a man and a woman who is pregnant, about ready to give birth, arriving into the city of Bethlehem. Can we come in? No, there's no room here. Can we come? No. We're counting the population. There's no room at the inn. And so they get taken to what they call traditionally stables. And stables in those days were usually stables put together in caves. All right? So it's kind of like that deal. All right? It doesn't take away the miracle that, or whether you think it's just a story, it doesn't take away the miracle. It doesn't take away the validity, but those rooms were quite literally full. It wasn't that they were evil and, oh, yeah, yes, and especially since you're pregnant and I'm especially feeling evil tonight, you can't come in. It didn't lay down that way.
Yeah.
All right? So there are times you can't just keep, but what about the poor little orphans? Where do they go? Right? It's I'm sorry. Sometimes there's no answer. Tragedy happens in life. Real orphans don't find families. What do I care if hip hop and rap do? All right? Here's another one. I love this guy. Luther Vandross. Doesn't belong on for the same freaking reasons. Right? You look at it, doesn't even mention rock and roll. Finally, the Black Crowes. Is this okay? With Melissa, that give you 3 so far, right? And the Black Crowes deserve to be on. It's their time. They should be on. They're back together. They're doing new music. Man, they cover all the boxes for me, right? Even though there are bands that go back before them that should be on before them, but I would have no trouble with the Black Crowes. All right, you got to have newer ones, that are only 25 years away or whatever it is. I think they're past that, well past that. Jeff Buckley, I'm not a fan of. Don't care for him, but I'm okay with the nomination. I can think of several people in his genre that I would rather see in, but I know he has a big fan base. Okay, so I don't have a major problem, so let's go 4, right? Shakira, kick my ass. Shakira, or Shakira, whatever her name is. Oh, I think she's the one where Wikipedia actually reasons with
Boswell
us.
has something to say again.
Yeah?
Yep, he came in with a 5 spot.
Ooh, my goodness.
So he really wants to talk.
Okay.
He says Mariah Carey opens the door for Taylor Swift. I know you're gagging. Britney Spears and others. Just saying.
Man,
you had to just say it, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Man.
too. Yeah, he's right.
And
though.
the rest of the Mickey Mouse Club, too.
He's right. Exactly.
Yeah?
Huh. Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's Mickey Mouse Club, it's got to be rock and roll.
Or Romper Room.
Nothing says rock like Disney. Jesus.
Oh my God, are they going to buy?
But
rock and roll
Shakira
holiday?
gets a nod for being Latin pop dance rock. And you want to know why? Because she plays guitar and wrote songs on her guitar. And that makes her
boy.
rock. So did Hank Williams, lady. So did Hank Williams. So does Dolly Parton. All right? That was their reasoning. And that's why Wikipedia puts her in as rock. And even they put it as the very last subgenre of hers and has a special explanation in their information on them. Now, the reason you're going, well, yeah, if you really want the truth, Michael, you got to look up something other than Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But you missed my point. Wikipedia has an agenda. The same freaking agenda that the rock and roll has as far as their basic political views and how the world should be run.
And Alvel says, and Miley Cyrus too. What about Billy Ray Cyrus?
I like Billy Ray Cyrus so
Good one,
much,
Alvel.
so much better than Siley, and I can't
Siley?
stand Billy Ray Cyrus.
Oh, come on, Billy
I
Ray.
love him compared to her.
Billy Ray should be there before Miley, though.
Frog voice,
Just
Siley.
saying.
Well, this
Just
is what I
saying,
think.
Michael Boswell.
Aren't I sexy sounding, Ribbit?
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
care for her.
What was his big song that,
Who? Achy breaky heart?
Achy breaky heart.
Oh, I
yeah.
could strangle him. You know?
Achy breaky heart.
Oh, man. The
Oh.
man put hairstyle back, oh, God, 1,000 years. But a lot of people liked him. Boy, that was a big hit. Couldn't escape it. It kept me busy changing stations while it was a hit. That's for sure. All right, so what did I say? We're at 5 so far. We still haven't run in. Phil Collins, okay, 6. There's good. As a solo artist, all right, I liked him better with Genesis, but he's worthy. He's worthy, and he's rock. He's definitely rock. There's no question. His lineage is secure, and he's well-deserved. Well done. All right? The Wu-Tang Clan can kiss my clan.
Oh my
All right?
goodness.
What the freak ever. Okay?
Yeah,
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol?
For the second time.
Really?
All right? So somebody's pushing him.
Oh boy.
So he's in somebody's favor. And I hope he gets it. So that gives us 8 out of 17.
Ah.
That leaves 9. That leaves 9 that are a joke. Pink, right.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no.
Oh, Oasis. Okay, 8 out of 17.
Yeah, because I
All
like
right.
Oasis.
So and at the beginning I said about half this list I can't stand. So, Oasis is fine, but you know what? They too could wait for Styx to be in. Michael, right? How about Styx before Oasis? Aren't they more worthy? Hadn't they been doing it longer? And weren't they even Pop 40 more successful?
Oh.
But Oasis is in, hey man, they're in the groove now. Boys are talking, brothers are talking to each other. You right? No fights have escaped. I was calling, man, I half expected this last tour just to collapse after a couple of shows with these guys. But I'm an Oasis fan. I like their first 3 albums anyway.
Yeah.
They're worthy, but again, they're only being pushed because of this tour. They're making headlines. That makes money. That means people might view this viewer leaking TV show that they'll put on in the fall. They lose viewers by the truckloads, folks.
Yeah.
All right? And so Oasis will be a good draw. Now, losing viewers. So what does that explain? That explains Pink. That explains, that explains the Wu-Tang Clan. That explains Shakira, or whatever her name is. Sade, not so much. I'm not sure she's in the know, although sentimental vote and all of that. A lot of people love her. I do too, like I said. That explains, Luther Vandross. That explains New Edition. Mariah Carey. In Excess is okay. Joy Division's fine. Melissa's fine. Lauryn Hill. Yeah, right. And so that explains a lot of those. What do you guys think?
Well, how about Al Val says the Guess Who, and also BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Damn straight.
Oh, those are great.
Damn straight.
And the Guess Who.
I think
Yeah.
the Guess Who made ours. Made
Yep.
Mount Rock Olympus. And that's what I wanted to do, tie this up tonight, folks. Let's go over to that poll. You don't have to follow me. I'll just let you know who made the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. Now, you've seen what we've done. You've heard me all night talk about who they're trying to get in, who they have pushed in, all right, against the grain, a thingamabobbits being attached to a zingadadoo. All right? Non-related, no DNA. You've seen all of that. So we have taken it on here at the Tribe. That means 35,000 of you voting on this. Okay? So this is no small poll. All right, and I'm going to go to it, and I'm going to tell you, first of all, I'm going to name the first 13 bands that were inducted into our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And those are the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, The Who, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Rush, Yes, Queen, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Genesis, and Grand Funk Railroad. As guitarists only, for their input into rock guitar, the following guitarists are in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. You've got Jimmy Page, Stevie Ray Vaughan, David Gilmour, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Ritchie Blackmore, Duane Allman, Carlos Santana, Brian May, Eddie Van Halen, Tony Iommi, Terry Kath, Robin Trower, Billy Gibbons, B.B. King, Prince, Lindsey Buckingham, Johnny Winter, Dimebag Darrell, Mark Knopfler, Rory Gallagher, Stephen Stills, Joe Bonamassa, and Randy Rhoads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Randy Rhoads. All right, so there are, what is that, 25, 35, there's 38, and then there's the final 52. Take a look and keep in mind what we've been talking about all night, and it's time for the people to take this crap back, okay? I'm going to go down to part one here. Oh, boy, we're really down here real fast. Okay, it's been a while. All righty then.
Well, you know, Joseph Blue brings up Three Dog Night. We were just listening to them.
Yeah, we were.
The other night.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He said they
We must have
never
played
been
15
nominated.
of their songs, huh, baby?
They've never. He says they've never been nominated for the Rock and Roll.
And I
21 consecutive Billboard Top 40 hits.
Say it again, I was interrupting you.
Despite having 21 consecutive Billboard Top 40 hits, the nominating committee has consistently overlooked them. Mm-hmm. Yes, Joseph Blue.
And I was explaining to Kimberly when I was showing her these videos of them that when they first came out, when I bought their records,
loved them.
Three Dog Night was a 7-member band.
Growing up, they were just part of the fabric.
Their keyboardist, guitarist, bass player, and drummer were just as important as the 3 lead singers. They were a true band for a while. And then it kind of dissipated there. But that to me will always be Three Dog Night. That's the Three Dog Night I would love to see in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or Mount Rock Olympus. All right. So here's the additional 52 member artists or bands that are in our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Moody Blues, King Crimson, all right, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jethro Tull, the Eagles, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, ZZ Top, Santana, Chicago, Sly and the Family Stone, Don't
Sly.
Tell Me We Can't Be Diverse.
I know.
Earth, Wind and Fire, Don't Tell Me We Can't Be Diverse. All right, when it's appropriate. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, Uriah Heep. When do you think Uriah Heep will be nominated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Long suffering.
What did Jan Winter say? When hell freezes over?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Or when it snows in hell or something like that.
Yeah, he's got
How
an
about
agenda.
The Doors? Or Jefferson Airplane?
Oh, Jefferson Airplane for sure.
Little Richard? Chuck Berry?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Elvis Presley. All right. Didn't think he was going to be there. He's there. Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Alice in Chains, which is on a list that they are considered the most recently snubbed band at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they're the best that grunge had to offer. Sad. Soundgarden is in.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Nirvana is in. Pearl Jam is in. So grunge isn't being ignored over here in favor of hip-hop and rap. John Lennon as a singer-songwriter and Carole King are in. Paul McCartney and wound up? Van Morrison as singer-songwriters are in. The Yardbirds are in. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these guys got a second nod, and one of them gets a third. And we call that, you get the first, you're bronze. If you get a second nomination, you're silver. A third is gold, fourth is platinum, and fifth is diamond. So far, I think we have one or two that got a third nomination. And you can tell by listening, because you've heard, oh, the Beatles are on, Paul and John are on, right? Okay. So, if McCartney in the future is voted on for the Wings as a band, he could get a third nomination. John could get a third nomination for the Plastic Ono Band. See how it works? All right? Only the truly worthy are added here.
That's
Robert
right.
Johnson, Howlin' Wolf. Oh, we go way back. That's the one section where I said it doesn't have to be between 1965 and 2005 because the blues became the rock and roll.
That's
all right?
Yeah.
And that's why you have Muddy Waters on there and B.B. King.
It evolved, yeah.
All right? And so he's on as a guitarist and as a blues artist. Twice nominated. How diverse of us. All right? Electric Light Orchestra. The Guess Who. Fleetwood Mac. The Beach Boys. Steely Dan. Finally. Damn. All right. Bob Marley and the Wailers. Well then, Lauryn Hill, who's got reggae. Give me a break. Go tell her uncle.
Oh.
All right? Bob Marley and the Wailers, that man wrote rock tunes set to reggae, man. I loved him. He's rock and roll as the day is long. The Police and Frank Zappa.
Oh, yeah.
Stevie Wonder, Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye, my man.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Love some
The
Marvin Gaye.
Temptations.
Temptations,
See, there's
yeah.
room with more direct. So it's not like this is all heavy metal. It's not like this is all Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. All right? Led Zeppelin. It's not just that.
Where's Steely Dan?
Steely Dan made it. I just
Right.
read them off
How
quite
about
handily. Cream made it.
Cream, yeah.
Puts Eric Clapton, he's a 3-time winner because he was in the Yardbirds, he was in as a guitarist, and he's in for Cream. Gold medal winner right there. Van Halen is in as the band. He's a 2-time winner. All right? Aerosmith. Oh, it says Iron Maiden here, but I think Aerosmith won it. And then after the poll, I officially closed. I kept the poll up all stream and closed it live on stream. Aerosmith won it, but later on, Iron Maiden declared a 1% increase. If you guys had just gotten in earlier, Iron Maiden would be in our Mount Rock Hall of Fame, and AC/DC took both of them out. They're in, all right? So there is our Hall of Fame for rock and roll. I'll compare that list that I just read off.
You know, Alvel brought up a good one. How about the Carpenters? They sold a lot of
pop rock, early
pop
Carpenters,
rock?
yeah.
I don't know. I think that they were in that period where they could be, you know, if Dolly Parton could get.
Well,
I know this.
They wouldn't be okay. Love the Carpenters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When she first came out, I just thought she was so cute. You know,
They were great.
And the songs were kind of cool. I wasn't aware Burt Bacharach wrote, you know what I'm saying, that kind of connection.
Oh, yeah.
I just heard it and I go, oh, a chick drummer, man.
What's that guy? You know, he sings "It's Not Impossible."
Yeah.
What's his
Tom
name?
Jones?
Tom Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah. I'd say Tom Jones was more rock and roll.
Oh, he
than
was
Shakira.
rocking. Are you kidding, boy? That
Right?
guy could dance better than.
But
than
neither one of
Elvis.
those would be like my first, I nominate me, sir, the Carpenters.
Roy
Right?
Orbison.
But the elements of rock, and it would be kind of like, what was I saying, who I kind of liked, but it wasn't that hot on.
And yes.
that I agreed with. It was one of the ones that we went over tonight. And it's kind of like that. If the Carpenters were nominated into the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame, because you guys have the input. I do this half list, and then the other half comes from you. If I ever get enough votes, I start taking off my half list and start putting yours in, because this is fan based, and your vote counts. Okay, your vote counts, and here you had 26 opportunities, each and every one of you, and maybe not all of you voted on all of them. Some voted for this and that. But for those of you who really took advantage of this, okay, you had 26 votes in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. And if you bother to vote as a fan, and your choices were what the rest of the fans believed, and your choices made it, that's one vote in 1,200. You got 26 votes our way. And I'll take the tribe. I'm talking to you now. I'll take your knowledge base, your gut feelings over what is rock and roll. And for those of you who didn't agree with me here tonight, that's part of the discussion. Somebody's got to take a stand. I take a stand. But it's not the be-all, end-all. And if you want the conversation to continue, go on over to this stream on replay. Because once we lock this down tonight, all the comments will be gone. All right? There's no way to access them at all. But I don't take off the comments on the replay. As a matter of fact, I do my best to get back and answer your comments. All right, so I openly invite you to educate me. I can still learn a new trick, folks, but you're going to have a good argument, because I'm not so easily diverted these days. I try to eschew from divergence in general. Too busy following the path that leads to some sort of sense than confusing thought forms and sideshow hustlers. Come here, kid. Got some magic beans for you, baby. Right? And you too can have a Golden Goose Award, because that is exactly what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has become. All right. Well, it's about 7:30. Let's see. I got up here at 5:30, shortly after, so we've been going 2 hours. That's a good stream, folks. We got a lot of great comments from you. I really do appreciate it. Even Caitlin, I know, disagrees with me on several people here tonight. I have great respect for Caitlin. I teased her a little bit tonight. Royce doesn't agree with everything I have to say. I consider them friends. Dan, right? He has his preferences. And then there's my viewers that I've known for a long time. I know all of you don't buy it. Michael Boswell quite often doesn't buy. We seem to be a little insimpatico tonight, Michael, but not always, you know. And it was so good to see you in, and it was so nice just to, agree with this guy all night. Because I agree, Styx needs to be in. They were on ours, and they got outvoted by the monster bands that were in their subcategory. But Styx will be on in the fall, and we're going to do this again. Now, I want to explain something. Shortly, very shortly, since this is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right up through the vote, we're going to be doing a couple of these streams, of course. I'll try to not do too many in a row or anything, but we're going to keep track of this story. I may put out videos on it, okay, as more information comes out. Any scuttlebutt that I feel needs to be reported to kind of keep you up. I always do this yearly, at the beginning of the year and then at the end of the year. And of course, I told you that we're going to do a set of polls that will bring 20 drummers into the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame just based on their drumming skills alone, baby. We got this thing beat. We're doing it right.
Amen.
And I put this thing together on a shoestring and a prayer and a lot of input from you. We built this thing. We built this thing. We built this thing, right? Together for rock and roll, of course, you know? So it's not a one-man job here, but it took one man to coordinate it. So I'm invested in it. I like the idea of a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I didn't want to take on the burden of creating our own, right? And it's not a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. Okay? Totally different. As you can tell by the list I just got reading off to you fine folks. Okay, so I'll be streaming this weekend at 5 o'clock. I'm looking into what night, either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure yet. Okay, that's still a little bit fluid, but it'll be at 5 o'clock. I'll try to give you plenty of notice ahead of time. That portion of what's going on and my ability to stream like I used to is uncertain right now. All right, so I'm definitely going to try and keep the Wednesday thing going, and I'm going fluid on the weekend here. Not sure. I've got a couple of ideas. If I decide to go with one idea, it may very well be back on Sundays. Okay, but it depends. And with things happening here at the homestead and everything, I've got to be real careful with my time. This is a critical time for us here at home, and we want to make sure that certain things are being taken care of, and so that may slightly affect what I have to offer as far as consistency on the weekend right now, but we'll see, okay? And I appreciate all of your support. I saw a ton of you. We had a goodly number.
Oh, we love you
tonight.
all. Tribal.
We had a whole lot of people early on. Hell, we got 54 left right now. We're well above that number tonight.
Joseph Blue just came in with a super thing.
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph, thank you so much.
All right, talk about nuts and bolts, easily to identify. A thumbnail, a man with his own DNA. He always comes in at the last minute, doesn't he?
Yeah, he says he ordered a DVD audio of Love today.
Oh, cool.
Woohoo, Joseph.
I think it was on one of my members only video. I hope you new members will take a look at it. I just bought the LP, Joseph. All right. That was my birthday gift, was the Love LP. I don't usually go with compilations and mixes and things like that, but it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. I love it. And it's in my Beatle collection now. Congratulations. Congratulations. Did you ordered it today? So it hasn't. Oh man, you're going to be going,
yeah.
When is it coming? Be looking for, UPS or whatever courier you're going with. But I really enjoyed tonight. And I want to say something. Kimberly, thanks for bringing up everybody's comments.
Oh, yeah.
If I didn't get to you.
My pleasure.
It's kind of like how I do things here. I do things totally different. I can't keep track of what See, I can't chew gum and walk at the same time with some things. Controlling the flow of the conversation and actually get out So I present my live streams more like a video, only with pauses in between. It's live. It's not Memorex. But I try to Memorex it up as much as possible. And I'm surprised the stream went as well tonight as it did, because I did not have time to get my notes in order. But I had a good sense of what I wanted to cover. And I think the biggest theme for tonight's show is there is a DNA to rock and roll. It deserves its own identity. And it's time for us, through the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame, to procure those identities and thusly, occasionally, educate other viewers about what is truly the very best in classic rock and roll in general, and sometimes other subgenres. Okay? I like to cover it all over here. But my main focus is classic rock, whether that's Led Zeppelin or Cat Stevens. I have no problem with either one of those people being in the Mount Rock Olympus Hall of Fame. They're very, very rock and roll, as far as I'm concerned. All right, folks, that about does it, and we'll see you either Saturday or Sunday at 5 p.m. We love each and every one of you. A big thank you to those who sent us super thanks. My goodness, we couldn't do it without you. I won't go into that. I've done it before. Try not to go into that, but it is very important to keep this channel alive. And it doesn't matter whether it's that deuce hammer or some really large ones that we've gotten quite recently. And we're grateful for those. But we're just as grateful for anything that you can do to support the channel. I'm open about that. I appreciate it. And if you don't, I hope you enjoyed the video. Because that's the main reason I do this, folks, is to talk to you. Besides the super thanks, besides the thumbs up, which you can still give me at any moment now. I'm shameless.
Yeah, hit that like button and subscribe to the tribe.
Yeah, how many we got? We got 66.
Awesome.
All right, so we hit past 50. It's been a while since we hit past 50 while the stream was going on. And on top of that, see, there's always, and one more thing, you know, I'm like Columbo. Excuse me, sir. One more question, you know?
And wait, there's more.
We're only 33. 30 freaking 3 away from hitting 100. And if you can help move that up the chart a bit, I'd appreciate it. Because if we get 100, then on replay, it gets a bigger audience. And we get more views that way. All right? It's simple, nuts and bolts. You know, it gets right down to that. And so I think we've covered it for tonight. Don't you think, babe? I think we did a good job.
You did.
Yeah? All right,
Yes.
I appreciate all your hard work. You had I love it. She's just becoming more of the show.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
just shut up
All
and
right.
listen to her from time to
That's
time.
enough of that.
Oh, now.
Yeah. Golly gee.
All right, folks. Michael Noland, this is the bottom line. And when I stream like this is the Tribal Forum. You set things into motion here. Here, you have the power. You have the voice. You can disagree with even little old me. I'll see you this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday at 5 p.m. That's PST, Pacific Standard Time. Adjust your time accordingly. All right, folks. Good night.
Good night. Okay.